everyone, my name is Miranda, and today I'm here to do a very belated February book wrap-up. For the month of February, I didn't get to read too many books. I'm going to blame that on the fact that school was crazy, and February also is the shortest month of the year, even though we got an extra day this year, so I don't know how well that excuse is actually going to work. I managed to read 4 books for the month of February, and then afterwards I was kind of tied up with Lady Midnight and the massiveness that is that. So now I'm here to share them with all of you. First up, I read Circus Morenas by Cassie Beasley, I think is how you say her last name, but knowing my track record, it's probably not. And honestly, I really wanted to read this book just because it has the word Miranda's in it, and it sounds so much like Miranda, so I mean, I was a little selfish in that fact, but it was kind of cool. And it's basically about this boy whose grandfather tells him these stories about a magic circus that he went to when he was a young kid, and the grandfather is now ill and sick and needs saving, and he calls in a favor from the circus. Now basically it's his grandson's turn to go to the circus and kind of try and save his grandfather and bring him back, because his grandfather is all he has and all the magical elements that happen in the circus. I have to say this book is definitely like written more at a middle school level. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but there's not a lot of drama and tension, and I mean the things that do happen, you're going to see them coming basically from like page 5 when they're like, yeah, we can do this, and you're like, clearly kid, you have never ever read a fairy tale book in your life, because you know that's not going to happen. So I think it was predictable, and in terms of like the circus and stuff like that, it was interesting, but I definitely like Night Circus better. I mean, if you've read that, like I've read more interesting circus books, like in terms of the circus and stuff like that, but the characters were really good. The story was interesting, even though it was kind of predictable, like I said, and I enjoyed it. I don't think I'd ever reread it, but if they made a movie out of it, I definitely want to go see it, because it was definitely interesting. And I mean, it's not a bad read if you like circuses, so if you like why would that, it's just such a random thing. If you like circuses, you'll like this book. No, give it a chance if you think you would be interested in it, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. After that, I read See How They Run by Allie Carter, which is the second book in the Embassy Row series. It's the sequel to All Fall Down, and it's about this girl who lives in like a United Nations kind of thing with like all these different countries living together. She's US. Her crush is Russian, which is amazing, let me just tell you. Like, we need so many more Russian love interests in YA because they're amazing. And basically the last book set off this whole thing. She was trying to find out her mother's murder. She found out like what really happened when her mother got murdered. And now this next book is her dealing with what she found out, because as often happens in the case, when you find out something, it turns into like an Oedipus-like thing where you don't really want to know it and you wish you could never ever hear about it again. So it's her dealing with this, and then also dealing with some new conspiracies that are afoot and happening in the United Nations, because for a heavily guarded, secure, global international house, this place sure seems to have a lot of spies and a lot of conspiracies going around. And I mean, I just did not like this book at all. I think I am officially ready to say that I am done with Allie Carter books, because there hasn't been a good one that I liked in so long, probably since like 6th or 7th grade, honestly. And all her books, I feel like, are just, there's something missing for them. Like when I read something, I have to reread it because I don't understand what happened, because like it's just the main character telling us what happened instead of like actually like going through and seeing what happened. And the main character in this book especially is just such a stupid idiot that like I couldn't even deal with it. So I gave this book 1 out of 5 stars, and I am so done with Allie Carter books and so done with Embassy Row, because it was torture reading this book, honestly, and I just can't recommend it. After that, I read Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, which is based, of course, on Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, but now it has zombies in it, so that's a thing. And I read it after I saw Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. The movie is actually a tad different. Like, basically, like, the last third of the book is very different from the movie, and I actually really like the movie. I like the movie better than the book, because the book was weird to read in some parts. Like, it was a lot more gruesome than I thought it would be. Like, parts about, like, Lizzie Bennet, like, ripping out a zombie's heart and then, like, eating it, and I'm like, that's tad strange for me. So it was a little more strange than I would like, but I mean, it was cool just to see how like someone could integrate Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice and then like add zombies in and make it seem like not that outrageous or not that weird. Like, it was a good read, just wasn't my favorite thing ever, and it just definitely like dragged in some parts, but I think that was also like Pride and Prejudice. I've never read Pride and Prejudice, but it seemed to stay very true to the book, so I feel like just the story in general lagged in some parts. I don't know, but I ended up giving 3.5 out of 5 stars. If you're interested in reading this book, I would say watch the movie instead, because Sam Riley and Lily James are gorge as Mr. Darcy and Lizzie, and their chemistry is amazing. If you want to check out my review for the Pride and Prejudice and Zombies movie, I'll leave a link down below in the description box for you. And then last up this month, I finally got around to reading Their Fractured Light by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner, which is the final book in the These Broken Stars series, whatever that one is called actually, and this was so amazing. Honestly, it introduced us to 2 new characters, Gideon and Sophia, who are just amazing in general, and they're really cool, and seeing how their whole story integrated with the previous 2 couples, I really thought it was gonna be hard and like feel unnatural, but this is definitely the best in the series for me, and it was such a good ending, like the way it all came together, and it moved so fast. Like something would happen and I would be like, I'm only on page 100, like how is all this craziness happening? It was amazing and I really loved it. I think this is a really good culmination of everything that happened, so I would definitely recommend reading the rest of the series, if only to get to this book, because it was definitely my favorite. It brought out the best of all the couples. This new couple was amazing and maybe my favorite so far. I don't know, they're tied with Taver and Lilac, I'm not sure, but they were so cute together and I just love it, and the cover's so pretty, and I definitely give it 5 out of 5 stars. It is my favorite in the series and it was my best read of the month. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, you're gonna love it. Miranda guarantees, if that means anything. Alright, so there you have it. Those are the 4 books I read for the month of February, and please feel free as always to leave the books you read down below, any recommendations you'd have, or if you've read any of these books that I just mentioned, what you thought of them. Also, while you're down there, make sure to subscribe to my channel to be told when I make all sorts of new videos, and also make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and want to see more of my videos. And thank you guys all so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!